This is Chuck Kowalski with Commodity Street Journal. Hi, this is Chuck Kowalski with Commodity Street Journal. Today is Wednesday afternoon, May 8th. In this segment, we're going to cover the agricultural markets. Let's get right to the news. The main thing we want to look at is the grain markets. We'll talk about corn first. Main issue right now is the weather. It's been very wet in the Midwest and a lot of water standing in the fields, and the farmers haven't been able to get in there and plant corn the way they'd like to. Last year we got an early start. This year it's way late. We're way behind the averages. And the next 2 weeks are critical that farmers can get in there and start to make up the ground and start to catch up and get on pace to where we normally are. Looks like we're way behind and it's going to be difficult to get that pace, but the weather patterns are drier and warmer, which is going to help. So if the fields start to drain some of their moisture, the farmers will be able to get out there, and with technology these days they can make up the ground pretty quickly. So if the weather pattern continues, I think we'll make up the ground pretty quickly. So we'll watch the next crop progress reports in the next 2 weeks to see where we are. But the main issue really is if corn gets planted late, then we start to get the pollination phase, which is normally around the beginning of July. That'll get pushed back. It could get pushed back, 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks, and that takes us more into the heat of the late July, early August time frame. And the hotter the weather is, if it's during the pollination phase, that's a critical phase for corn. If the heat comes in there and stresses the crops, the crop yields will be down significantly if we get a lot of heat stress during that time frame. So that's what has people concerned. But if you look at the markets, they're not too concerned about it either way. We're kind of content staying in that little trading range where the markets don't want to go up too much or go down too much. So we'll see what the crop progress report has to say on Friday from the USDA. That'll give us some direction. But overall, we're under the gun right now, but we have ample supplies that will be coming online. We're going to plant a lot of acreage for corn and soybeans. So right now the worries are that we could have oversupplies unless we have significant weather problems during the summertime. So another issue that we're looking at is South America. They have crops over there that are basically ready for export. They've had some delays at the ports, but their crops are priced a lot lower than ours. So we have a major competitor over there in South America, and with the lofty levels that we're at right now, and if we have a big crop this year, could be a lot of downside in the grain market. So keep that in mind when you're trading. And also, the same thing applies for corn and soybeans. If the farmers aren't able to get corn in the ground on time, they're probably going to switch their plantings to soybeans, and that could put a lot of pressure on soybeans. We're already starting to see that, but that could really take effect over the next couple months. Switching gears a little bit, talking more about the soft agricultural markets. The coffee market looks like it bottomed in the low 130s, and we're trading up above 140 right now. That's a market that's been trying to find a bottom for several months, actually longer than that, and it looks like it found it right in the low 130s. That was a good value area, and we started to see a lot of buying, even though the fundamentals really haven't turned around on that. And you never see the fundamentals turn exactly when the market turns. It usually takes you by surprise, or it lasts longer than expected. So looks like we saw a nice turn in that market. The sugar market has been trying to bottom for a long time, just like the coffee market, and I think we might have seen signs of a bottom around the $17 mark, and that's starting to show the same technical formation that coffee made at its bottom. A little bit on the opposite side is the cocoa market, which has been very strong. We've had a long rally off of that in the last month or month and a half off a technical breakout, and we're starting to see signs that it could be vulnerable to a sell-off. That's one of the characteristics of the cocoa market you have to be careful about. It tends to have long rallies that just kind of drizzle a little bit higher, and then one day you just have a massive drop, and that could happen in cocoa anytime, so be prepared for that. Not saying it's going to happen, but that's always a possibility in this market. So that's really what we're looking at. Weather is a concern for the grain markets, and other ones are starting to bottom, and we'll see how we progress over the next couple weeks with the weather and the grain markets, and we'll keep you updated on that. Until we talk next time, this is Chuck Kowalski at Commodity Street Journal.